Hi, my friends. I'm Dara. This is Dear Hallmark. And I want to talk to you today about Retreat to You. Retreat to You stars Emilie and Peter Mooney. This is a movie that just premiered this past Saturday for Fall into Love 2023. Listen, I'ma just talk to you like we're sitting on the couch sipping tea and or lemonade and or water and or coffee and or insert your beverage of choice here, right? Because tell me who saw this coming? Huh? So this now here, okay, here's the thing. Because Amelia Ullerup, Bree O'Brien, she will always have a special place in my heart because she's Bree O'Brien. But the nature wilderness movies hasn't been going well a little bit. So I was nervous, right? Because I'm like, oh, they done put my Amelia in a nature movie. What are we doing? I love this movie. I think this movie was brilliant. I think this movie was quick. I think this movie was fun. It was witty. And everything that I thought was going to happen didn't. And I'm so grateful that it didn't. The Amelia, I'm in awe of her talent. She's so talented. Because as I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking there are cameras and like a crew of people sitting there watching them do what it is they're doing right now, and they have to create these moments of chemistry, of intimacy, of romance while there's 11 people around them. And I think there's something to say to that, which is why I respect actors so much, because there is such a craft to honing in on your emotions and conveying an emotion to the sense of that you feel that it's real and that it can be translated across screen to someone sitting on their couch saying, yo, I felt that. Like, there's a craft to this that with each new movie that I love, with each new movie that I see from an actor that I love so much, it makes me respect the profession that much more because of the work that goes into doing something like that. Like, you can't just bippity boppity boo on screen and think that it's going to come across the same way. Like, there is a study to this. There is a craft to this, which I know not of. I took one little flimsy acting class in college as an arts elective, and that was it. And so we went through different exercises, but I think that there's also, on top of craft, talent, gifting in it too. Like, there are some people like LaToya Luckett. She's never once taken an acting class. I remember watching an interview of hers. She's never once taken an acting class. And she is just such a natural. She's so gifted at it. And I say all that to say, watching this movie, I thought about that with Amelia. She's so talented, and I'm so grateful that we got a movie from her this year because she is so good. Like, I love that woman. She's so talented. She really, like, I really do love her. I love what she brings. She brings, much like Kimberly Sustad, but in a different way, she brings a sense of relatability that you can sit down and talk to her, that you can, like, she feels tangible, if that makes sense. Like, she doesn't, I know that there are some women that we aspire to be and are inspired by, but Amelia feels like she could be our friend. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't feel so far off with the different with the different roles and the different characters that she plays. They don't seem so far off that, yo, I can't call her up after this and say, what you doing? You know, things like that. So I saw that in this movie. And what I also loved about this movie is how Amelia's character had a character flaw, and I think this just speaks to who Amelia is as a person, because it's her. There was still a level, like, you weren't turned off completely by it. At least I wasn't. I think she was able to play the character in a way where you saw her shortcomings, you saw her flaws, but you were still able to digest it because it made her human. It didn't make her unlikable. There was now guys, we can name a couple, 2, 3, 8, 10 people, or characters I should say, that came across or has come across unlikable that we just didn't like, okay? Or that their shortcomings were exposed or expressed throughout the movie and it just didn't digest well with us. Like I'm sure we've all had that with different Hallmark movies that we've watched, but I think that speaks to Emilia's charm. And then to add a cherry on top of this cake is Mr. Peter Mooney. Now listen, Peter was in that Bird Fly Away With Me movie last year with Natalie Hall, who I miss her, by the way. I miss her. That's an aside. But yeah, he was okay in that movie, but this movie, I don't know. I don't know if I grew up. I don't know if my preferences changed. Like, I don't know, but homie brought it. He brought the picnic basket, the blanket, the silverware, and all the food necessary for us to just crunch and munch and be like, that's it right there. That's it right there. That's it right there. And to have Peter and Emilia together, okay, to simply put it, which I don't think simply exists in Dear Hallmark Land, right? This was the movie that I thought Love in the Great Smoky Mountains was going to be. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my podcast episode when I talk about guiding Emilie, because I give kind of a rapid review of Love in the Great Smoky Mountains. And this Retreat to You was what I thought I was going to get with Love in the Great Smoky Mountains. That banter, that quick wit, that dialogue. And we had it for a little bit in the beginning of Great Smoky, but it didn't carry through. And even through Emilia and Peter's affection, like, this movie was just brilliant. Like, Emilia and Peter together were A1 steak sauce, caviar, all of it. It was just it was done really, really well. 5 crowns. I honestly wouldn't change anything. And here's something that I want to like push hard. What makes this what separates this from a 4 crown to a 5 crown movie? The supporting cast was stellar as well. Everybody showed up and said, I got a rent, I got a mortgage, it's time to pay the bills. And when people show up to pay their bills, you see it. You see it. You see it with her best friend, who, my goodness, if you could bottle up her energy and sell it as a fizzy drink, that woman is a walking soda. And I love it. I loved it. Love it and love it. And, who else? Randy, the owner of the wellness retreat. You do not call it a summer camp. It is it is an adult wilderness retreat. Okay? And then you have even the chef. I forget Chef's first name, but Chef. Even Chef brought it. And that married couple was a hotmess.com. But we love them anyway. They contributed that element of shenanigan. I love me a good shenanigan in every movie. This was that sleeper movie, much like Game Set Love from last year to me, that just slapped me in my face like the little peas from VeggieTales Jonah, and just slapped me like the fish and said, "Are we here?" And I said, "I hear you. Like, I get it. I'm here. My bad for doubting," right? So I love this movie so much. This movie is beautiful. And I loved how Peter's character didn't back down. I loved how he was very forthright with his emotions, but still was encouraging and supporting her, like almost like this give and take, this push and pull. And I loved it. I loved watching Peter in that role. What was his name? Sean. Was it Sean? Abby and Sean, I think their name was. Um, I, that, listen, I want to see Emilie and Peter in another movie together. I want to see them in another dynamic. I want to see them doing something different because I really enjoyed them in that context. And I'm curious. Y'all know I'm a city slicker, so I'm always going to take it to a corporate, and I'm a corporate girl. So I'm always going to take it to a corporate context. I would love to see a little corporate something or other with them and see if that can translate into like a corporate environment in a Hallmark movie, you know? So you guys, that's how I feel about Retreat to You. I hope that made sense. I hope I did the movie due diligence. And honestly, I don't think I can because you just need to watch the movie yourself. I think it's done so well. It's my favorite Fall into Love movie so far. We still have, I think we just have one more left. Yes, we just have one more left. For September, I should say, for September. And it's A Very Venice Romance, because then after A Very Venice Romance, we get into October and we only have two, which I think is 3 Bed, 2 Bath, 1 Ghost, and then Field Day. And then we have 2 mysteries as well. We have Fatal Vows and A Zest for Death, the Hannah Swenson mystery. And then like we got some mysteries. We also have am I missing something? Murder in G Major. Oh, Mystery Island. How could I forget Mystery Island? Murder in G Major, which is Tamara and Marco Grazzini. And then Mystery Island with Elizabeth Henstridge, who's from Christmas at the Plaza. And then Zest for Death. And then Fatal Vows is the week before Countdown to Christmas. So, well, you guys, that's going to do it for me here on this episode of Dear Hallmark. If there are any movies you are wondering if I saw or if I've reviewed that you don't see here on the YouTube channel, be sure to go to the podcast. There is a podcast branch to the home of Dear Hallmark, and that's where you'll see I reviewed Guiding Emilie. I also just recently released an episode of my favorite bookish Hallmark movies. So to all of my authors, writers, journalists, readers, bookshop owners, if you love a book and love a literary bend to a Hallmark movie, you're going to want to make sure you listen to that episode. I give, I believe, 6 or 7 of my favorite kind of literary, bookish Hallmark movies. And I am planning to do a very big birthday episode. My birthday is on October 3rd, and I am going to do, to me, it's a big episode because I'm going to be giving you 10 of my favorite movies and one of my favorite tropes. So I'm really excited about that. As well as I'll be revealing to you my 5 most anticipated Countdown to Christmas movies for this season. So be on the lookout for that. Be sure to check that out. And I'm also going to be reviewing Come Fly With Me on the podcast as well. So if you're interested in that, you want to be sure you subscribe. And by the way, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, what's going on? Why are you being a visitor? Become a family member. It's free $99. It costs you nothing. You can just hang your coat up, take your shoes off. There is a place at the dining table with your name on it. All you got to do is subscribe. That's it. Go ahead, go do it. So my name is Dara. This is Dear Hallmark. And in the meantime, between time, friends, make sure to watch a Hallmark movie that you love. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Ciao, my friends.